How's it going, friends? Welcome back to another video here with me, Arne from Beard. We are playing Green-White Gearhulk today. Cage Hulk, an amalgam of two Green-White decks of the past. Brightglass Gearhulk and Collector's Cage. Collector's Cage has been used in the past with Overlord of the Mistmoors, and now sort of has been replaced by these two haymakers here, Elspeth Stormslayer and Craterhoof Behemoth. With the Overlord, it was always nice as you could cast it for 4 mana. So we have that like mid-game threat, maybe ramp it out with Llanowar Elves, which is pretty powerful. These cards are a little bit more expensive. Craterhoof, of course, very difficult to hard cast, so it's really just a Collector's Cage target, more or less. But yeah, Elspeth, I mean, you can drop an Elspeth on turn 5 and perhaps 0 to give all you guys flying to just, fly over the opposing board, go for the kill. Really powerful 0, and the +1, of course, always good on an empty board. Just, create some bodies and killing something. Like, this card is certainly a very push planeswalker, a very strong planeswalker, one of the strongest 5-mana planeswalkers in standard, like, period, looking at the last 10 years. But standard is at its best it's maybe ever been. Decks that were good 10 years ago would be tier 3 nowadays. So, yeah, 5-mana planeswalkers don't see much play for good reason, but hey, in an aggressive creature-oriented shell, Elspeth might do some crazy stuff. Also, of course, with Collector's Cage. And now that we don't have Overload on turn 4 anymore as an impending, we do have the Gearhulk to sort of like replace that mid-game power level. And from playing with this card for the Pro Tour EFF Drift, we were working on Green-White Gearhulk a lot for that Pro Tour. It certainly became very clear that this card is incredibly strong, really strong. I think stuff like Collected Company references were made. Just really, really incredible power level. Also sort of this toolbox ability. Back then we played a list with, of course, Llanowar Elves, but we also had Fragments back there. We had Warden of the, the Convoke guy, the 1/2 that you tap and make bigger and turn into a flyer. And we had the Fragments, the Novice Inspector. We had multiple copies of Dusk's Reliquary, which is exceptionally good with the Gearhulk, especially if you get like a Novice Inspector and this as your 2 targets from the Gearhulk. Then you can, sack the clue or the creature for the Reliquary. You have a very cheap removal spell, so turning your Gearhulk into this sort of Shriekmaw effect, kinda. And then, just the body of itself, like 4/4 first strike trample, the flexibility, you have Haywire Mite for temporary lockdown, Curry Steel Cutter, whatnot. You have Nurturing Pixie for some value. There's just so much going on here. And then we play Pawpatch Recruit, so no Novice Inspectors here, going kind of low on that, playing 3 copies of Pawpatch Recruit, which does help with Collector's Cage, enabling this one. You need 3 creatures with different power, and here you get, of course, a 2/1 and a 1/1. To support all of that and to ramp out stuff, like with the elf, you have a lot of free drops, free to choose from here. Sanguine Evangelist, again, similar to Pawpatch Recruit, which is kind of also a free drop, right? Gives you 2 different power creatured guys, and then Sandstorm Salvager, same thing, gives you a free and a 1/1. Also good synergy with tokens here. This ability, the static ability, is no joke in this deck, and not a card we really see. Sees much play at all, but here it's quite nice. All your tokens gain trample and get buffed. And then Sentinel of the Nameless City, also really good with Dusk's Reliquary. Good card against Izzet Prowess in a nutshell, just that 4th toughness, that's really the juice spot. Can't be Torched or Witnessed, and is also not that bad against Flatmaw because you always get the map token when they bounce it. So really nice card against Izzet Prowess specifically. The 2-drop slot is filled with some utility pieces, you could say. Keen-Eyed Curator in the main deck here with 5 planes is a little bit on the greedy side. I took this deck list from the regional championship where it did pretty well in Hartford. But yeah, 5 planes and a Keen-Eyed Curator, I'm not the fan of that decision making. You rather want to have like a deck that has more of a split like that. when they play the Curator, and I think I'm just gonna make at least one swap like that. Oh, well, 24 lands is also on the heavy side, but with considering you have 4 Llanowar Elves, which is kind of like a land as well, it's like 28 mana sources. But I suppose you do have some mana sinks, and you do have Elspeth also to ramp out. Yeah, Keen-Eyed Curator, I guess, for Jeska Oculus and for Omniscience, hatching with this main deck card. I don't think I normally would play this in a main deck. The Fur Toughness is nice comparatively to something like Scavenging Ooze. And I guess it can grow into a 7/7 down the line as well. I mean, the card is not bad. It just doesn't really synergize with the rest of the deck. I guess one point in its favor is that it's a free power creature, and you have a lot of 1/1s, you have a lot of 2 power guys. So if you have a 3 power guy, that is another different sizing for Collector's Cage. And then Shelter by Ghost is just one of the most powerful white cards in the format. It can swing a game in your favor easily. We see it in Jeska Oculus. We see it basically in any white creature deck. Everyone is gonna run Shelter by Ghost because it's just so powerful. You don't have protection here. A card that you can also play with the Gearhulk is what's it called? Shardmage's Rescue, one mana hexproof for as an enchantment, which is really nice, of course, to get to protect your Shelter by Ghost creature. Also don't have it in the sideboard. Again, it's difficult to find space for all the various utility one-offs you want to play. Here you see a Ghost Vacuum in the sideboard that you can fetch with the Gearhulk. And then we have a couple get lost from a removal, Aven Interrupter for the control decks or combo decks. 3 copies of Scrapshooter. I mean, this I think has turned out to be one of the best ways to attack Izzet. Because, Izzet is a deck that only has 4 prime targets for artifact destruction, right? So a card like Haywire Mite or a card like just a straight up disenchant type of effect just doesn't cut it against them because, maybe they don't draw it. They only have 4 in the deck. So having Scrapshooter be a 4/4 reach as your sort of fail case, I think is really good. 2 copies of High Noon, more hate towards Izzet, of course. Also can be brought in against, what's it called? Omniscience. It does work kind of nicely with the Interrupter as well, as they can, if you have High Noon in play, they can only cast 1 spell per turn. So this becomes really brutal for them, this ability. We have 1 copy of Enduring Innocence. This seems great against black mid-range decks, a grindy piece, really difficult for them, as they struggle with Enduring cards in general. We see, people are picking up on Enduring Curiosity to fight the demons and then the Demir matchup. And then we have another Shelter by Ghost, Split Up. Split Up is a nice sweeper for creature decks, as you can sort of set it up in a way, right? Like normally you wouldn't want to play a sweeper in a creature deck, but Split Up is pretty good there. And then last but not least, a copy of Elesh Norn. Yeah, the sideboard is really covering a lot of angles. Elesh Norn, I guess, very good in the mirror match, doubling a lot of your own ETBs for what it's worth. But yeah, mostly also for Domain, I suppose, is the big one. Where it shuts off a lot of their things, all the overlords and whatnot. Powerful 5-drop for sure, and also a card you can find with the cage to cheat out. All right, well, that is green-white. Usually I'm not covering many green or white decks. I feel like the top decks in the format are mostly blue-red based, some black. We do have some white control decks, to be fair, but definitely not many Llanowar Elf decks. So I'm excited to play some with the green cards and see if this has any shot. Is this able to go over? Is it prowess? Is it able to defeat it? Can it just sort of present an insurmountable board quickly that just goes over the, Curry Steelcutter stuff? That is sort of the question going into this gameplay. Let's play first. This is a pretty fair hand. Who am I beating with this? I guess a graveyard deck. I'm on the play. I have really clean mana. I have plays. I'm too chicken to mulligan this hand. I mean, I think on the draw I would be more inclined because it's just so low powered in a way. But on the play, I don't know. It seems difficult to justify mulliganing this one. Blue-white control over here. I'm just gonna jam. If they have no more lies, whatever. I have like plenty of plays mapped out here. Turn 4, turn 5. Elspeth, certainly a nice draw here, as I at this point presume I'm playing against blue-white control, and you know, they need to get lost for it, otherwise it goes crazy. Stalking up. Well, Evangelist, not that bad into a sweeper, at least I get the token. And yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Evangelist over Sentinel for that reason. As it's not that bad into a Day of Judgment. Stuck. What a beautiful card. Beza. Beza is a nice one. They don't get to draw a card, but they do get some fish. If I would have played Sentinel, they would have also gotten fish, so it doesn't really matter. I can really fly over for a lot of damage here, but nothing has Vigilant. Yeah, they don't get Vigilance. But yeah, it could be 4, 5, 8, 11 damage, actually. That's a lot of damage, and this would be at 5, so it could get struck down. Probably don't want to do that. On the other hand, if I just make soldiers, that doesn't seem that exciting either. As if they then get lost, I'm kind of not punching through. Like I'm guess I can like map up the bat or something like that. Certainly have to play this. So the options are give flying and then maybe don't attack with all. That seems weird. Maybe I kill the Beza and attack for like free. What if I give everything flying and just get in there? My Elspeth is gonna die to these, but it's a lot of damage. Really tricky. I mean, if I would know they don't have Get Lost, I would just plus to make some tokens, I think. I think I'm just gonna do this though. I think I could also theoretically do something like this. They can't really kill this. I can jump here. This at least deals them some damage. This is tricky. I don't know. Tricky spot. They could play Right's End to kill my Evangelist, kill my Elspeth. Looks like they just have Get Lost. Yeah, I feel a little bit better putting counters on my guys, I think. This outcome was fine. By me. Oh. Okay. I wonder about this guy. If I can give it trample. I mean, I have two types that I have to exile, so 3 mana I have to pay. Trample is nice for sure. I mean, putting a Beza under Sheltered by Ghost seems medium minus. I guess I could like buff this guy. Make it able to attack the Beza. Okay, well that is actually great. As I can exile with Keen-Eyed Curator. I might have lethal here. Oh man, the rope is ticking again. I might have lethal here. It's gonna be very close. I think it is lethal. Is it lethal? Is it one short? I think it might be one short. Need, I guess this. It's 8 plus 4. No, it's exactly. Wow. Okay, yeah, warm-up game. I don't know. I have my coffee sitting here. It's cooling down right now, so I was tight. Wow. Okay, let's kick out the Shelter by Ghosts. Let's kick out the Craterhoof Behemoth. Enduring Innocence seems kind of nice, to be honest. Scrapshooter seems decent against Lockdown. Dusk Reliquary. I don't know necessarily. I mean, it's just a little too vulnerable to Lockdown specifically. We have Elspeth that can kill bigger guys, so like Meringue, River Regent, Overlord, stuff like that. Overlord, we can just Scrapshooter or Haywire Mite if they impended. 4 cards to add. I mean, Interrupter is sort of the obvious one. I'm not even sure it's that good in this matchup. It's probably good. All right, I'm gonna add it. And then Get Lost and Scrapshooter maybe. Not sure how many Collector's Cages I want. Do I want all 4? Probably yes. I think I'm gonna kick out a Sandstorm for another Scrapshooter. I don't love Pawpatch, to be fair. Pawpatch is really vulnerable to Lockdown. So maybe another Scrappy Boy. I think Beza is certainly annoying, as it like breaks my board pretty well. But Collector's Cage can work against the Beza. Like, I can buff my guys to get through, and then I can also hide away the card that I found. And if they tap low for Beza, I can maybe deploy an Elspeth. So, while it's good against me, there's workarounds. And I feel like boarding in something like Get Lost to deal with a Beza is not great either. I could have had maybe one Get Lost over something. Maybe the Nurturing Pixie, I don't know. I mean, this hand is okay. I'd really love to have a bit of a faster draw with a Llanowar Elf on turn 1 on the draw, but I don't think I can mulligan this. I am... Well, okay. Sure, I guess. Although it's a little awkward, actually. Because... Okay. I have a decision to make. Do I play Cage or do I play Sandstorm? I think I just get the threat down. Alright, that resolved. Nice. No Right's End. So I'm just able to collect now, right? I should do that, right? I can also play a Gearhulk that walks into Day of Judgment, though. Put a 1 on an entire creature you control. And if you kill 3 or more creatures with different powers, you may play the exiled card. Yeah. I'm gonna do that. Hopefully hit an elf. Shit. No. Oh, that was pathetic. No, I'm not even sure if I want to get the elf. Can I play it at any time? Is there a time restriction? It's like if they go Day of Judgment, I'm just gonna lose the elf as well. It seems not great. Okay, I'll do this. And then I'll cast the elf. I mean, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what they do. If they cast Wrath here. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's no point in casting the elf, is there? Oh, there's actually a point in casting the elf. So I get it back when I blow up the lockdown. That makes sense. Otherwise, it would be forever hidden away. All right, and also good to put a counter on the guy that actually doesn't die. Duh. Okay, I mean, now I could hide away again. I could maybe hit an Elspeth. That certainly seems pretty good. Alright, fair enough. Let's get in there. Again, I'm gonna hold onto the cage, I think. As, again, if they have Day of Judgment or Split Up or Sunfall, I want to wait. Okay. Now I can play Elspeth and get in there for a ton of damage, right? 3, 9, 11, 15. I wish these guys had Vigilance. That would be so nice with the Elspeth. I mean, I just have to do that, right? It's so powerful. I can choose not to attack with everyone. I could do something like this. This way I can also activate the cage one more time. Or exile something with the Curator. Okay. And Scrapshooter is just so good against temporary lockdown stuff. It's a really great card, to be honest. So much power. Opponent has 7 cards in hand, but they're just gonna die. Okay. What are we thinking here? Could be split up. I guess I'm just gonna do like this, maybe. Put a counter on this guy. That's better against split up, putting it on this guy. If they have lock, oh, it's also good against lockdown because it's a free mana card. Okay, cool. Well, that was pretty impressive. They really didn't stand a chance there. I mean, blue-white is a control deck that's very honed in on like trying to beat prowess right now. And lockdown is just not that great against like all the disenchant effects I have available to me. Also, whenever they tap out for a sweeper, you're just being able to deploy Elspeth is really powerful. Like, that's a different animal than like Overlord of the Mistmoors. Overlord of the Mistmoors is pretty good against control too. You know, makes threats and then comes later as the impending, but it gives a lot more time. This thing deals a ton of damage. It's really, really threatening. That 0, I'm telling you guys, that 0 is a huge aspect of why. Or like, if you want to make this card good, get in on that 0. Like, people always saying to me like, hey, why don't you play Elspeth and blue-white control? Or like, what about Elspeth and blue-white control? In blue-white control, it's really just a +1 and then, okay, the minus. But all of that is kind of anemic for 5 mana. Like, you don't want to have a 5 mana kill spell. And you don't want to have like a 5 mana card that makes 2 1/1s in a Monsters Rage format, in a format with Slickshot, Show Off, and Arculus's that just fly over. That's why I like the dragons and I like Overlord better in blue-white. But in this deck, Elspeth is a whole different animal with that 0. It's just so powerful. Yeah. You always want to have the elf in your opening hand, of course. It's a little bit of a decision point here, I guess. Do I want to play Pawpatch turn 1? Or do I want to play it a little slower? It's awkward with the Restless Prairie for sure. Probably want to play it slower as I do have the cage, so I want to maximize and get 2 guys out of this. Just go cage turn 2, go turn 3 this, turn 4 this, activate cage, something like that. Keen-Eyed Curator. I mean, I'd rather play a creature threat, I guess. Yeah, for sure. Then I can still go this turn 3 and then this turn 4 to get a hideaway going. Black-white demons? Pixie. Sure. This might be a bit of a tricky matchup, but we'll see. I mean, they have lockdowns, they have nowhere to run. Okay. Slightly annoying what's happening here. I could keep the map around for this. But I'm kind of looking for a Gearhulk. Or like more free drops. There you go. You just gotta ask. Gearhulk is certainly... The Gearhulk is a grind engine card. At least it was that in the other deck. I mean, here you can still get... I can get a Haywire Mite now to get my... Although that's really unimpressive, actually. I'm not getting the Offspring and they get a Momentum Break. I don't really care about the Temporary Lockdown. Well, I can get a Haywire Mite nonetheless. Maybe for something else. Okay. But I'm certainly going to get a Pawpatch Recruit. I could also get 2 Pawpatch Recruits. I could also get a Nurturing Pixie to reset my Collector's Cage later on. Like, that's a very long game. Strategy. Ugh. Pixie is just obscene. Whenever the deck draws multiple of this 1 mana thing, like 1 mana, 2/2 flying, replay that. It's brutal. It's brutal. And a Momentum Breaker, very nice there too. I don't know. They're kind of crushing me here. Huh. The lockdown is threatening. How do I even play this? That Momentum Breaker and like their entire draw was just perfect against my draw. So if I play Pawpatch, it's just gonna lock down me. I have nothing out of it. Okay. I'm gonna get the Haywire Mite. I think the way I'm playing this, I think I'm gonna go Cage or Mite next turn and set up for the future that way. Because if I go Pawpatch this turn, they're just gonna wipe it again. I guess I lose all their pixies. Oh my god, it's disgusting. Come on. I mean, that's annoying about Standard as a general thing. It's like the decks have a very wide spectrum of draws. Like, Izzet Prowess is gonna be absurdly good when they have like Kari Steelcutter into Kari Steelcutter turn 3, turn 4, right? And like Pixie is gonna be way better when they have 4 Pixies, which is just a joke. Okay, I mean, at this point, I guess it's just so much pressure. At this point, they're not even supposed to play lockdown, right? Because they take away all their pressure. Okay, this Collector's Cage has been less than stellar so far. I mean, it doesn't have that many powerful hits. I mean, you kind of have eight good hits, right? You have the 4, you have the Hoof, 3 Elspeth, and 4 Hulk. I mean, their draw was just insane. Like, on the play, what is this? I'm not ever able to beat that. Like, that's the thing. Like, you're not beating that with any deck, right? Like, it's just how it is. Okay. Yeah, let's go to draw step. Sentinel. Okay, let's think about this. So I think I'm just dead. Okay, so I have to put Sheltered on one of these guys. Guess this guy. Doesn't really matter which one I put it on, because I have to buff the other one with the Collector's Cage. Get this. Attack with this for sure. I go up to 9, but I die to the Restless Fortress. No, I don't. I guess I can... If they activate Restless Fortress, I can activate my Might. Okay. Okay. They can't play this, because if I play this, they just lock down. And then Momentum Breaker this, and then they have a Shield Rune play, and I have nothing but it's Sentinel. I think that's not an option. Yeah, okay. I don't know. I don't know. But we'll try. Maybe they just go for lockdown here. But no, they can't go for lockdown. I have Might. I can blow up the lockdown before they... exile my stuff. But I mean, I'm still dying to the air, 8 power in the air, and I'm only gaining like up to like maybe 5 life next turn. I can kill one of their guys. But then there's also the Fortlers. But I guess I'm gaining 2 here. So the Momentum Breaker me, I sack this, then I have 6 power in play. With the Prairie... I have 4, 8, 11. Okay, so I did gain some life though, so I can buff this guy maybe. And then kill one of the pixies for my Reliquary. So I go up to 7, kill 1. And then I just activate this and kill me, right? Yeah, I think I'm just dead. I mean, it got kind of close. It got somewhat close for how insane that draw was. Right, like that draw was completely insane. And it did get somewhat close. So it was a good sign for this deck. Without the Restless Fortress, I might actually have a chance here. Yeah, they see it. They already click on the fortress. They read the card. Yeah, alright, GG. Fair enough. I lost against the quadruple pixie draw. That's fine. Okay, we take out the Sheltered. Elesh Norn might actually be good here, I think. Enduring Innocence is certainly nice. Dusk's Reliquary is... I definitely want to Get Lost. I think I want the Elesh Norn. Maybe not the Craterhoof, as they decimate my board pretty well. The Keen-Eyed Curator seems really bad into nowhere to run. And Lockdown. This seems reasonable. Could think about Split Up. I'm not sure about the Reliquary. It is a one-off. I can find it with the Gearhulk. I could, to make it less embarrassing against Lockdown, I can, like, with the Gearhulk, I can find both Might and the thing. That game was honestly, like, if their card would have been a nowhere to run instead of the Momentum Breaker, this game was very winnable. This was all the difference. Like, the Momentum Breaker was the secret MVP. I had like Pawpatch Recruits, for example, that my guys would have gotten bigger. Although, to be fair, I guess Nowhere to Run would have gotten my Shelter Begos. But the important part was that it killed these two guys. Like, that really cemented their footing in the game, that they just turn 3 killed this, turn 4 killed this, or something like that. Or like, I think, yeah, anyways, that was really important for them to get me off the ground. If those would have been Nowhere to Runs against these, like, otherwise these guys are tough to kill for Pixie, right? They really are, they can't be locked down, they can't be Nowhere to Run, right? Which is appealing. And they did have the stupid Momentum Breaker, though. I think they play like 3 to 4 copies nowadays, though, which I think is correct. Momentum Breaker is really good against in that deck, and like more wanted than in the Esper version of Pixie. I just had Spit a fee. I mean, I don't have the land that I really need. I do have plays. I have some aggression, but the thing is, I mean, yeah, that's fine, I guess. This hand is okay. I think it's a keep, and I did need the land. But yeah, I think I'm gonna just apply more pressure here. Just make a 2/2 flyer, essentially, and really pressure them. And if they have lockdown, I can, you know, blow it up. And I have an answer for Shieldred. Pixie is really good at defending. Like, I think in this matchup, Elspeth is very good. Yeah, no Obstinate Bailiff in the sideboard, by the way. That might be an oversight. Huh. Man, Scrapshooter is so nice. I think Scrapshooter is better than this guy. Okay, just a Hopeless Nightmare. That's doable. I could have also ditched the Get Lost. I was a little too scared. It's yeah. If I play my Scrapshooter here and they just lock down me, I'm down to the shooter, but I do have to make a play here. Like, the downside of holding the Get Lost is that you do kind of have to play the shooter here. So maybe I was meant to discard the shooter. Yeah, tricky. They do have lockdown. I can get them back with the Get Lost at instant speed at least. That's kind of a nice draw. That's a really good draw here. It's kind of neat that with the Get Lost, I have at instant speed a way to like Pixie, so I can, in response to a removal spell. I'm certainly glad I kept the Get Lost now instead of Sandstorm Salvager. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do it upkeep, right? I think there's not much reason not to. I mean, I could also take the damage, to be fair. Alright, let's pump the Scrapshooter. Elesh Norn, that's cost a little too much right now. Collector's Cage seems kind of good in this matchup too. But it is somewhat vulnerable to the lockdown. I think land's fine. I could hold it for Nightmare, but I actually have the Prairie, so the 5th land is kind of important. Yeah, and here we saw how these high toughness creatures, if they don't draw Momentum Breaker, are really nice. Maybe they did have Momentum Breaker, but turn 2 they couldn't deploy it. Or no, I mean, if they had Momentum Breaker, they would have probably played it. Their plan, I guess they could have set up for the lockdown because they didn't want to breaker one of these. But yeah, I mean, playing the Shieldred into these guys and then Get Lost, that was certainly a crucial point. What's happening here? They have like Kirin, Nowhere to Run. I would think that they have a difficult time beating another threat here, right? Like 3 lethal creatures? How are you gonna do that? There's no Set of the Wreckage in this format. Gonna lower this a little bit. Like, I don't know, like 2 removal spells. I figure I got him. All right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't love this guy specifically because it doesn't line up that well into lockdown because it sticks around, so they just get rid of the golem forever. But this card is also not much better. It's just really bad into nowhere to run. It's just my sideboard doesn't really give me options. I would have welcomed like another get lost effect, I guess, instead of maybe the split up here. Aven Interrupter. I don't think that's what I want to do. Pixie is too good against cards like these. Keen-Eyed Curator, is it just better because of curve reasons? Maybe I'll do like 1. My curve is pretty hefty on the free drop slot. I have like 11 of them. This looks like a Collected Company free drop situation. In Collected Company, you had like 15 free drops because they were so good with Collected Company. But we're not playing Collected Company. We're playing Company for 1 drops. But we do have the most free drops. I don't know. Maybe I should have played another Curator. But again, I feel like I'm just a couple of cards short in this matchup. Like, I have to play some stinkers. Like, both Salvager and Curator don't seem great here. Yeah. Mulliganing against the Hopeless Nightmare deck is always tough. But this hand, 6 lands in a way. I think this is a little... Like, I have to really get lucky on my draw step if I keep that. Yeah, I guess we're doing this. I guess I'm just ditching a Salvager. Alright. I'm kind of happy to not see a Nightmare. Like, a Nightmare could have really made this hand worse. That's similar, but slower. Here's a bit of a decision point. Do I want to keep the Elspeth? Or do I want to keep my free drops in the face of them doing this? So they could go Pixie this again next turn. Elspeth is just so powerful against them, I think. I have a hard time saying bye-bye to Elspeth. I'm also not sure if this was the correct move. The Salvager does put a little bit more power than the Evangelist. Maybe Salvager is slightly better. I don't know. Yeah, it is good. I guess I have to ditch the Scrapshooter at this point, which doesn't feel great. I could have Scrapshooted the Momentum Breaker, but that also seems kind of bad. Not a matchup I like to face as this green-white deck, I would say. But it does seem winnable, or at least improvable. Like, the list that I'm running here, the list that I took, is a little bit low on good cards for the matchup, I would say. It's a pretty aggressive nowhere to run. It looks almost like they want me to double block them. Maybe they have another nowhere to run. They're just like trying to get my guys. Whoa. I mean, it's this or this, I suppose. They didn't play a Shieldred here. This does answer Shieldred, but Elspeth also answers Shieldred. This shuts off a lot of their deck. Probably just has to be this. I'm not super sure though. I'm going to attack here. I'm not going to activate the cage because I'm kind of suspecting another nowhere to run. If I activate the cage, they kill the 2/2 flyer, presumably. Which would result in me losing a damage. And if I pass priority, I guarantee like 2 damage. So I think it's a little bit better. Okay. This makes my decision worse with the Elesh Norn. If I never draw a second land, a 5th land, for example, but I draw like a cheap creature here that enables me to trigger the cage, then I could get the Gearhulk and could get Reliquary. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Okay. Alright. So I can make a recruit. Or I can play another cage. Probably better to just make another recruit, to be honest. Although, wait a minute. Do I get both? Do I get double hideaway triggers? I think I get double hideaway triggers. That's pretty powerful. And what... you might play next side card. Alright, I'm just gonna go for the sweet play then. I'm gonna get the double hideaway triggers. There's the Reliquary. I don't really want that exiled though. I guess there's another collector's cage. And I don't even know. I mean, I'm kind of playing the control game now. Like my late game setup is insane. So they need to get rid of Elesh Norn to enable their deck again. That doesn't do anything. Yep. I think they messed up. Okay. Well, that was a pretty pretty good turn for me. They just skipped their turn. Cool. Let's see how this works then. Let's buff you. And let's play you. Oh, both. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see why there's an Elesh Norn in the deck. Give me the get lost, please. Land. Yeah, sure. Planes out of the deck. 2 of those triggers. Yeah. Give me the Reliquary. And how about a Pixie? Sure. And how about an Elf and a Pawpatch? Yeah, sure. Okay. Cool. So now I can collect this cage again. Let's buff you. Let's cast this. Blow up this. Oh, I can play lands as well. I didn't even know that. It says play. It doesn't say cast, so you can get lands. Wow. Well, they missed the interaction with the Elesh Norn. I mean, Elesh Norn certainly proved the point here why it was good in the matchup. Yeah, awesome. Cool. That was dope. Elesh Norn is just ridiculously powerful, right? Like when that card works, it works. But it is a 5-mana 4/7 that, doesn't have any protection by itself. So it can't just be blown up or raft away. But yeah, that was cool. That was cool. All right. I'm kind of liking this deck, not gonna lie. Okay. It's another one of these like weird fairish hands. This time I'm on the draw. I mean, weirdly enough, it has sort of the Omniscience Arculus decks covered. Then it has Haywire Mite for Cory's Steelcutter. Also, these guys are not too bad against Izzet Prowess, as they are pretty beefy. So, like, against some of the top decks, I'm kind of covered in a way. Mono red makes my Haywire Mite looks kind of bad, I guess. But I mean, it can blow up a rage, like a rage token. Yeah, I remember testing for Proto Aether Drift, and one of the well, that's a good one. One of the reasons we dismissed the green-white deck was, I mean, it didn't feel bad against Gruul, especially with like all the Shelter Beggars in the main deck. Yeah, I mean, actually, never mind. I take that back. I mean, at the beginning, it was a little bit of a concern that just Manifold Mouse plus Heartfire Hero is really tough to beat. But we soon added like a lot of Duskrose Reliquaries and Shelter Beggars to the main deck. We were playing like with 3 Duskrose Reliquaries and like all these token makers going more into this Convoke direction. So we had a lot of fodder for the Reliquary if we drew it naturally. And then we also had Shelter Beggars. So actually, our red matchup became a lot better at that point. But the problem about the deck was that its domain matchup was completely atrocious. And I think Elspeth in the main deck makes your control matchups a lot better than they used to be, because Elspeth is just a completely different type of threat. So that gives me a little bit of hope for this deck's ability to fight them. Okay, I mean, whoa, what are you doing? You just, okay, my mono reds, I mean, we're playing Platinum here. This was certainly not a good play, I would say. But I'll welcome it, I guess. And I did draw my main deckable mono-red hate card here, which is awesome. I think playing Mite is slightly better than trying to activate this. Like, we're not really realistically getting to anywhere with this. Yeah, playing Mite definitely better. That wasn't really a decision point. I'm mentioning it because why not, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I have an Elspeth coming, which I'm likely gonna zero. So having a Mite in play and then a body I can pump is certainly where I want to be. Next turn, Gearhulk, please. You always want to have turn 4 Gearhulk with this deck. We didn't even have that many Llanowar Elf games, like where Llanowar Elf went crazy. A nice thing about this deck is that you have like beefy green creatures that you can equip with Sheltered, especially Sentinel of the Nameless City is a nice one. And those are a little bit harder to interact with for mono red, because, for example, the Lithomantic Barrage is like this commonly played sideboard card. Come on. Do I attack this? I think so. I think I'm just racing. Like, my opponent is kind of turning into the, like, this is just funny. Okay. My opponent's kind of turning into the person that's gonna die here, like the person that's playing defensively. Reliquary says sacrifice, so it actually gains me life with the Mite. Yeah, I mean, Pixie doesn't really accomplish anything here. I think I'm just gonna take this. I don't know, maybe I should take Pixie. I don't see much reason. Like, this game is gonna end maybe next turn with Elspeth. Now, even if they kill my Keen-Eyed at this point, I think I'm gonna be fine. I have a pretty big life buffer, good board presence. Okay. So you're at 11, you say. Why do you do this pre-combat? Now you're just dead. I mean, I guess they're not strictly dead. If they have a shock for my Mite, they're gonna be okay. I could also activate my Prairie. That's GG even if they have shock, right? Guess they could have Frenzy. Guess they could have Frenzy. I don't even know why did I not block here? I forgot this has first strike for a minute. I should have just blocked. My opponent's playing really poorly, but I also messed up there. I forgot about the first strike. Like they can't even rage this thing to do anything. Like this was a free block. This less of a free block because I do take a lot of damage from a rage there. But I could have also blocked there. That was just stupid by me. Okay, so I mean, I assume if they had Frenzy, they would have played differently. Sort of my thinking here, right? They would just play differently. I guess I don't have to attack with this even. Wait a minute. So if they Frenzy here, this is 8, 10. It's not enough. Yeah. So there's no reason to attack with this Mite, because it's just 10 if they have Frenzy. And there's no 1 mana deal free I have to play around here. Yeah, sorry for being maybe a little too, you know, thorough. I think is the word I was looking for. But yeah, just making sure nothing shady happens. Okay. I think Haywire Mite is gonna bench. I don't love Elspeth, although the zero ability is perhaps interesting. I'm also not sure about the Collector's Cage shenanigans. On the draw seems a little difficult to pull off. I think the Pixie kind of can leave the battlefield for this one. Sheltered and Enduring seem okay. Enduring, yeah, I think so. Split up, get lost, certainly reasonable. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I need this cage stuff that badly in this matchup. I think I'm gonna trim a little bit on those. Maybe kick out. I don't know about the Behemoth. I mean, the Behemoth is kind of for a matchup like this, kinda. Although maybe it's more for like a control opponent. Or like a combo opponent. Because my opponent could really mess with my board, is my worry. Like, they could just burn everything I have. Pyroclasm. Scrapshooter is nice sizing. 4/4 for 3 mana. But it is not really destroying any artifacts or enchantments. Elesh Norn also nice size. Kinda like the idea of an Elesh Norn, to be honest. Forget to ramp her out. Don't love the pop. Man, I think Pawpatch is actually okay. I think this looks pretty reasonable to me. Yeah. Seems like the mono red sideboarding sort of adds up. Like it doesn't feel like I'm missing cards like I did miss against Pixie. Double Brushland. But I mean, I'm not going to go to 5, am I? Just gonna bottom a Keen-Eyed, I guess. I could also bottom a Brushland. I think I'd rather keep the Elspeth over Keen-Eyed. Not too excited about this card. This is a lot of free, a lot of redundancy, and Elspeth gives me some endgame power. I don't know, like Elspeth seems kind of iffy on the draw. Mono red is pretty fast. So I could see that the second curator is better. Okay, I'm pretty happy having a 1-drop, I guess. If they have Manifold Mouse, I'm in trouble. So it goes. Okay, that's fine by me. You're gonna rage me, okay. That's a nice card. Good high toughness. I would not like a Nemesis. I would certainly not like a Manifold Mouse, but I don't think they have that. Otherwise, they would have played it there. That would have been a great turn to Manifold. A Nemesis would be very, very damaging to my situation. that even worse. I didn't think they had that. Maybe they just top decked it. I guess now I'm down to Shelter by Ghosts off the top. Okay. What is going on today? What is that? I keep calling certain cards. Brightglass Gearhulk. I mean, I'm stating reality. It's like, I'm down to Shelter by Ghosts off the top here. There you go. It's wild. That's not too threatening at this point. They played that pretty fast. I wonder why. What's their hand? Like, they didn't have the 4th land to offspring it. They have a Rage here? Guess so. So I'm gonna take 8. Alright. It's gonna be a 2-3. Yeah, I mean, I have one decision, I guess. Which 3-drop do I play? The 3-3 lines up well here, and the 1-1 can jump here. I'm gonna be at 6 life. This absorbs 1 more damage. I mean, this absorbs, by the jump blocking, more damage, I guess. Also gives me 2 bodies. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is lightning strikeable, but considering their board presence, this is also not very good against lightning strike. They give everything double strike. Okay, I mean, that worked out a little bit better for me, I guess. So I guess I'm just going to take 4 and jump here. Yeah, I mean, I would have just died. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's a pretty fair argument. I guess I'm gonna buff my... I'm certainly not playing Gearhulk with 2 Brushlands. It's not really a good sounding strategy. I'm gonna buff here. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, just get in there, I guess. Go up to 6. So I die against another removal, but so be it. I could have stayed back, but then I die against Burst Lightning, or like, I don't know what. Yeah, that's lethal too. Interesting sideboard card against the green-white creature deck. But yeah, I did have a pretty... Alright, it was kind of close game. If this map would have hit a spell, I would have had exactly enough life to survive here. A little sad, but it is how it is. The Brushland, bit painful. Okay, okay. Interesting. Interesting. Do I want to split up on the play? The Elspeth look kind of shady, kind of expensive. Maybe Collector's Cage is better on the play. I'm gonna go with that. I don't know. Like, the problem I have is that they have like torches and burst lightnings, so they can mess with my Collector's Cage pretty well. But you know, the nice thing about Cage is that it's not like a totally embarrassing card. I think this is a mulligan. Like, I have 2 Brushlands as my only, like, yeah, this is kind of a green source, but I think this hand is too, like, not doing enough. It doesn't have Shelter by Ghost. It doesn't have Collector's Cage enabled. It had like 5 mana sources and like a Pawpatch and a Get Lost. Well, Get Lost is like a necessary evil. It's not really what I want to do, and I think it's the card that I'm actually putting away here. It's between that and Keen-Eyed. But I think because I'm on the play, I'd rather go with my creature draw, and I do have 1 interaction piece already. So I think I'm gonna ditch the Get Lost. I mean, Get Lost is historically not very good against like mono red. It's always this like flexible, like this could be a Destroy Evil, right? As a sideboard card. But Destroy Evil is much more narrow. But it does a lot of the things that Get Lost does. But the nice thing about Get Lost is that you can bring it in against mono red to break up, you know, Nemesis or Monsters Rage shenanigans. I'm super happy this elf gets to do something. Looks like a Monsters Rage, I guess. They do have priority, so that's the only thing that I could imagine. Or they just chose to not shock the elf in their turn, which is a play you can make. Let's call it that. Alright, that's good for me. I kind of want to hit land drops, so I'm gonna go for that. Getting this guy bigger is also a nice deal. The shelter is interesting. I think I'm not like it. It could have Manifold plus Monsters Rage, right? That would be a bit of an issue. So maybe the shelter is a good call. It's really difficult to kill this guy right now for them. Elesh Norn plus shelter is a bit of a joke too. The thing is, like, if they go Manifold Mouse Monsters Rage, I take 14. I don't know if I want to take 14. Okay. Guess I'm just gonna pump here again. Kind of can attack into this Nemesis at this point, right? Like, what you gonna do? If I play Curator here, I guess they... I mean, actually, let me think about this. So if I sheltered, like, how are they ever gonna kill this? It's impossible, right? Like, a double sheltered creature is just impossible to kill. It's kind of boring, but I guess it's just the correct play. I wanted to Elesh Norn and get a double shelter by Ghost Triggers. That's where I wanted to be. But I guess we're doing the boring line. Not really what I need. It's not necessarily a card that maybe you should leave it on top because it's so powerful, but my hand is loaded on spells, so I think I just want lands. Yeah, I mean that was good. That was my Heartfire Hero into Manifold Mouse moment, I guess. Llanowar Elf into Sentinel, into Sheltered, into Sheltered. It was I guess it's similar to like Manifold Mouse, Heartfire Hero, Monsters Rage, 3-card combo. Llanowar Elf, Sentinel, Shelter by Ghost, 3-card combo. Yeah, that's certainly pretty appealing against red decks. All right, well, I'm kind of impressed. This was cool. Like, I feel like we didn't get paired into Is It. What did we get here? Oh, Sylvan Scavenging. GG. Another green rare for my collection. We didn't get paired into Is It, but I could see that matchup being reasonable. You know, Is It is very powerful, so it's like you can never expect to have like a really, you know, good matchup against them. But seeing how that mono red matchup played out, I think it's somewhat reasonable. How Is It could play out, or to expect it playing out in a similar way. Because, you know, yes, they have shock effects and they have Spell Pierce and Flood Moss, but the deck is kind of built well against interaction. A lot of token makers. The Gearhulk is very good against Floodmaw, for example. You can't bounce that. You can't really kill it efficiently. You can find a Duskbros Reliquary, or Haywire Mite, which gets rid of Cory Steelcutter. Like, the deck is able to buy time and has a lot of power. And then Collector's Cage adds to all that. And then Elspeth adds to like this powerful, hey, I can actually like... Elspeth is sort of like the white Monsters Rage, I would almost say, with that 0 ability, just deal a burst of damage in the air all of a sudden to just kill anybody. I like it. It certainly feels improved. I didn't mind having both Cage and Hulk in the same deck. I mean, they do work kind of well together. They want similar cards. Yeah, I was impressed, I have to say. This is a really interesting time in Standard. I mean, a lot of people are saying, hey, the format is stale. There's a lot of Is It prowess. But you know what? When there's like one deck that is clear enemy to beat, that makes it somewhat easier to build your decks for the metagame, right? You can like really target the metagame at that point instead of like going into pro tours that, for example, come out like the next pro tour is going to be almost a week after the set release. So everybody who's preparing for that will be like, what could happen? You know, like we don't know. That's always difficult to prepare in constructive for a tournament like that. But here, when you really know what's up, you can really target that. So that aspect allows deck builders and brewers to come out with versions of maybe forgotten archetypes like this one to target Izzet and some of the other top decks and have a good showing. All right, that was it for Green-White Gearhulk. I really enjoyed playing this deck. It felt strong. And I thank you, as always, for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't yet. I'll see you next time. Take care.